Hello everyone, welcome back to the last video in my holiday 2022 series. I have enjoyed this series so much and I hope you guys have too. So today we are completing the album base that we made last week. So the base video will be linked below so you guys can go create this base. So let's kind of go through the book. So it is an 8x8 book with a 2-inch spine. And it is chipboard, and in the video that I'll link below, you will see exactly how to make this base from start to finish. So on the front here, we did some matting. I used a combination of the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Christmas Lodge and the Simple Stories Simple Vintage Rustic Christmas. So this one was last year's. The Rustic Christmas, the Lodge, Christmas Lodge is this year's. They are very, very similar in color and style, so I was able to seamlessly use them together. I just didn't have enough left of either collection to only use that one, so that is why I used that collection, those collections. So the Joy chipboard that you see through here, that is from the Simple Vintage Rustic Christmas. So it was just right here. So that's from that collection. And then, like I said, I kind of use them interchangeably throughout the book. So as you can see, we can see our cute Santa under here and that beautiful joy word. So let's open it up, and I'm just going to put something right there so we don't have a reflection the whole time. So again, those are the chipboard stickers, and this is our magnetic closed waterfall. So this opens like this, and then like this. And I used the continuous matting little element here, so that's super cute. Then it closes like this, and this whole thing spins out to the side, so you have space for photos under here. And then it comes back magnetically. So these 3 waterfall pages that you're going to be seeing in this album are in a separate tutorial. They're also part of my mini album basics series, so I will link that below so you'll be able to make the pages with the waterfalls. And then in this video, we're going to do the front or back, whichever one the waterfalls are not on, and then complete the book, okay? So that's page 1. And then we go to page 2 here. We have this lovely spot for a 4x6 photo. And then this opens up like this. And we have another space for a 4x6 photo. Over here, we have a spot for a 5¼ by 5¼ photo. And then this whole thing opens up for just a ton more photo space in here, so you can journal, you can do big collages, you can even do beautiful layouts in here, whatever you'd like to do. And then that closes with a magnet there. And then this is our pull down waterfall. So again, this is in a separate video, but it will be linked below. So this just pulls down like this, so lots of beautiful space for photos. And I again did the continuous matting on here. And then we go to page 4. So here on page 4, I used a lovely 4x6 cut apart here. So then this flips down, and then this whole section opens up for just a ton more photo space. And like I said, I think it would just be beautiful to do layouts in here since they're quite large. And then that has a magnetic closure. And then here on the front here, this is kind of a little section for to fit your 4x6 photos, and then you can fit a nice large photo back here. And then I left these without matting because I didn't want to weaken my magnet too much, because the magnet attaches here and under here. So we're already going to be putting photos on here, so I didn't see any sense in putting layers on these. Okay, but we can put photos there. So these are the stickers. These are just stickers. This is one of the cut aparts, and these are some of the stickers from the collections. And then it opens up like this, so you have space for a 4x6 photo here. I just matted it with a nice cut apart, and then you can do some journaling here. And then that whole section opens up, and then obviously the whole other side opens up as well. And then that closes with a magnet. Then we go to page 6. So page 6 has a pocket with a little insert to keep our waterfall closed. Again, this video will be linked below for the waterfall. And then this closes it right there. And then on the back, we just have a really simple pocket with 2 4x6 inserts in the pocket. Okay, so that is this cute book. I can't wait to share the tutorial with you guys. If you have made the book or any part of it, I would love if you guys would you know, post that in my Create with Martha Tucker Facebook group, and I'll link that below for you guys. And yeah, let's get on to the tutorial. All right, guys, so let's get started. So just a quick recap before we get going here. The waterfall pages that we're going to be working on, I did in a previous mini album basics video on how to do 3 different waterfalls. So we've already created these pages in a previous video. We did not do the backs, so we're going to do the backs or the fronts in some cases today. But I will link below to where you can create these 3 base pages, and then you can come back and we'll do the backs of them. And then last week we created, in the mini album basics series, we created this acetate window album base. Okay, so I'm going to link that below as well. So there are videos for both of these, so you will need to go look at those separate videos to complete this book. Okay, so I'm going to put my base aside because we don't need it yet, and we are going to start working on our pages. Okay, so I want this Santa page here. So it's our little magnetic waterfall page. I want this one to be the front of our book, so like the first page that you'll see when you're looking through the window. So this one is the one that spins, and then it is also a waterfall with a magnetic closure. Okay, so we're going to turn this over. So for the back of the page, I have a piece of my red cardstock that measures 7 1/4, so 7 1/4 tall by 12 inches wide. And on the 12-inch side, I am going to score at 1/2 inch and a 7 1/2. Okay, then what you're going to do is take this, your 1/2 inch, and fold it down, and then your 7 1/2 we're going to fold upwards like this. Okay, and this is going to get attached right along the outside edge here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and miter my score line, or sorry, miter my little 1/2 inch section, and I'm going to just cut from the score line out. I'm not cutting into my score line at all. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to attach my, I'm going to put my arc glitter glue. I'm going to use arc glitter glue for most of the construction of our book, or of our pages, I should say. And I'm just centering it in here so that you have about 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom. Okay, I'll show you that in just a second. So you see how there's 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom. All right, and then I'm going to add a magnet here for the closure. So I'm just going to get a set of magnets, and these are my 12 by 1 millimeter magnets, and I'm just going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to put it down about right here and put a piece of tape on top of it. Then I'll get another piece of tape and I'll put my magnet, or sorry, I'll put my tape sticky side up and let my magnet just catch on there. And then just close that over and give it a good burnish. Then you can open it and just make sure that's all nice and secure. All right, and then that's what we have here. So it'll open like this, and then it'll also open like this for nice large photo spots. And I think we might add one more magnet here just to keep it closed onto here. So let's get a piece of tape and see if we can do this with just 3 magnets. So we'll put a piece of tape upside down right here. So sticky side up, let the tape catch, and then close that down. All right, awesome. So that will also keep that flap closed then, okay? So that will be page 1. All right, so now let's go on to page 3. So this would be page 1 and then page 2. And then this is page 3. So this is our little pull down waterfall. So then we will switch to the back of this, which now will be page 4. So for page 4, I have, again, kind of a similar layout to page 2 there. So this piece measures 12 by 7. On the 12-inch side, I scored at 1/2 inch and at 8. So 1/2 and 8. And we're going to do the same thing. You're going to fold that 1/2 inch score line down. And then this one, the flap is going to come up on top, okay? But this time, it's going to go along the top of the page, not the side, the top, okay? So let's go ahead and miter these. So again, we cut from the score line out, never into our score line. Burnish it again. We'll add our glue. Just like that, and it's gonna go right along the top, and just go ahead and line it up with the front of your page. Make sure you didn't go over. Just like this. Right, so now let's go ahead and add a magnet for the closure. So we've got, I think we'll need 3 again. So let's start with the first one in here. So we're going to use tape. And that's going to go right about here. And then you'll do another piece, sticky side up, let your magnet catch, close it over. Then I always like to open it and make sure it's stuck. All right, then we'll open this and we'll put another piece, sticky side up. You can just try to find that magnet with your fingers. Oh. Kind of off on that one. Let that catch and then close that down. So now we have that closure as well. All right, so that is our page 3 and our page 4. So we have, it comes open like this, and then it also opens like that. All right, so now for page 5, this is actually the front. So we did the waterfall on the back of the page. So we're actually going to be working on the front of this page. So this is page 5. So I have a piece of my, again, my red cardstock, and it measures 6 1/4 by 12. On the 12-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2. So 1/2 here. 4 3/4, and then 9. So 1/2, 4 3/4, and 9. And again, we're gonna fold down our little 1/2 inch section. Then we'll fold the next one up like that. And then the next one back. Oh, make sure you get it nice and crisp, that score line. All right, now I am going to attach this right here along this side, so along the outside edge. And I don't need to miter it because it's quite a bit in, so the pattern paper is gonna hide that construction or matting or whatever I use. So I'm just gonna center it in here along that edge. Just like this, and then give it a good burnish there. So then this will open like this, and obviously like this, but then it'll also open like this, and these two sections are big enough for your 4x6 photos. All right, so for the magnet, we'll for sure put one here. So let's put one there. And then I think we'll put the other one on here, and then that'll keep that whole section closed. So let's let it find it. And then just bring that down. And then that'll keep the whole thing closed. Super cute. All right, so that is our pages done. The fronts are, you know, they're quite elaborate with the waterfalls, the different kinds of waterfalls. So the backs are just a little bit more basic with lots of room for photos, and I'm gonna mat them that way too, so that there's just lots of room for nice photos. So let's go ahead and get these attached into our base, like our book. All right, now let's go ahead and glue our first page on. So it is just gonna go right along here. So we are only gonna put glue on this little 1/2 inch section here, okay? So add your glue to that. And then we're just gonna lay it down just like this, right along our spine, and just center it in top and bottom. And then just burnish that on, just like this. All right, and then the next page will go right next to this, so it'll go right there. So we'll just add our glue to this 1/2 inch section. And just glue it right next to that previous one. Just like this, and then give it a burnish. All right, and then we'll put our final one in the front here. So put your glue on there. And just put it right along your previous page. Just like that. Give it a good burnish. All right, and then that is all of our cute little pages attached in to the book. All right, so next let's add a little pocket to the inside back cover. So again, my red cardstock measures 5 3/4 by 9. On the 5 3/4 side, you're just going to score it 1/2 inch, and on the 9 inch side, you're going to score it 1/2 inch, flip it in the scoreboard and score it 1/2 inch. Then we're going to cut our corners out. So we are going to cut just right below where those two score lines intersect. And then we can go ahead and fold and burnish on all of our score lines. Just like this. So just, I like to always burnish from the top too. And this is just gonna go right along our spine here, just like this, okay? All right, so I'm gonna start by just adding glue to this bottom flap here. This is just my art glitter glue. And it's going to go right along the spine, but make sure not to go into your spine. And you can burnish that. And burnish from the inside as well. Then we can add glue to these two side flaps here. And just close that down nice and flat. And burnish it. All right, so now we've got a pocket back here, a nice large pocket to add large photos or whatever we'd like to do. All right, so now let's talk about the matting for the... All right, now so for the frame for the front of our book, what I did is I have a piece of my pattern paper here, and the pattern paper measures 7.5 by 7.5. And what I did is I marked in 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on this side, then I flipped it, and this was obviously before I cut it out. 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on this side, so 1/2 inch all the way around. Then I just took my pencil and a ruler and I connected those tick marks all the way around, and then I cut just between my tick marks, okay? And then I cut that center part out. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna glue this piece to a piece of red cardstock that's 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. And I'm just gonna use my Fabri-Tac here because it gives me a second to move it around a little bit. So just put your glue on here, and you're just gonna center this piece right on your frame. Just like this. And just make sure it's centered so that you have an even red border all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to place it about 1/8 of an inch from my frame, okay? Then I'm going to start about 1/8 of an inch down from the top. I'm going to start about here, and I'm going to cut, and I'm going to stop about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, okay? So there is my first line cut. All right, now I'm going to start where that cut mark ended here, and I'm going to cut down from there till I'm about 1/8 of an inch from this side. And you can absolutely go ahead and, you know, mark that, but for me, all right, and flip it, and then again, just start where that stopped. And we will cut from there. And then we're just going to connect those two cut marks. All right, and then once you go around, if you see that in some spots, maybe you didn't completely meet the corner like this here, just go ahead and use a scissor and snip it. And then the same thing here, just snip it. So now we have our nice frame all the way around, okay? So now this is gonna get glued to the front of our book. And I love that Santa looking through there. That's so cute. All right, I'm gonna grab my glue and be very, very careful with your acetate like this, not to get any glue on it because it's very, very hard to get it off of there. So just get glue all over your frame here. And make sure your pattern is going the right way when you place it on here. Just like this. I'm sorry if you guys hear my puppies, they're just playing in the hallway outside my craft room here. All right, just make sure your frame is as even as you can get it. All right, now I'm just gonna go through and mat the rest of the book, and you will have seen that in the beginning of the video. So you'll see how it all comes together. If you guys haven't yet, I would love if you would join me over in my Create with Martha Tucker Facebook group. I will leave a link to that below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I would love if you would consider subscribing. I will be back Saturday with one more special video before Christmas, so make sure you tune in for that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one today, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.